I'm DJ, and welcome to One Shots Tavern, a TTRPG podcast where we seek out new ways to tell your stories through different systems and games. And today we are joined by Adrian Lawrence from Dungeons and Degrees. Welcome, Adrian.
Hi, hi. That's me.
So, how's it going?
It goes well enough, is what I'll say to be positive during this podcast. I mean, life happens here and there, but it's all gravy. Um, I'm having fun doing my podcast. You mentioned it, Dungeons and Degrees. We just talked to a bunch of random people from the TTRPG space, and we tend to talk sometimes about TTRPGs, but like sometimes you just need a good old fashioned talking. Just
Oh,
whatever's on
absolutely.
the mind.
Absolutely. Um it's cathartic to just kind of like talk to people who like do the thing that you do and like enjoy the thing that you enjoy
Mhm,
and
mhm.
just like spill your guts and just be like, "Hey, this is a safe place for me to talk about this."
Yeah,
Uh so yeah, absolutely. Okay, so how long have you guys been doing the podcast, cuz you're at like 120 something episodes at this
right.
point?
Right. They're not consistently put out, so, like, it's an ambiguous we started in August of 2020, so we're roughly 4 years old. Um, Fun stuff, and then, yeah, we just started because we were isolated and especially myself because I just had, like,
Yeah.
shortly into the project's conception, I moved away from everybody. So I
Oh,
really
no.
needed this podcast because I was lonely.
I feel that, yeah.
But it was nice to reconnect with people with different ideas, different aspects of how they've experienced the game, and just every conversation was just so unique. You'll have some similar answers, but because of the path of life they chose, it's always going to be a little
Oh,
different.
yeah. Absolutely. Um, you know, I mean, we haven't been doing this as long, but, like, between all of the people that we've interviewed for, like, our 40 something episodes, give or take,
Mhm.
it really is, like, always a highly unique situation,
Right. Yeah.
just, like, depending on what their background is, especially, like, the answer of like, "How did you get into tabletop RPGs?" And it's like, "Well, I've never even heard of Dungeons and Dragons. I got into tabletop RPGs using a stick of gum," and I'm just like, "Oh, well, tell me about that."
That sounds
Which
fun.
brings me, what like was D&D your first like entry into the tabletop space?
Yeah.
Is it like
It was the
yeah,
first conception for sure. My dad brought it to me at an early age, and I just kind of like, well, we only played like the one game because he killed our fucking characters, and then I was like 7 years old, and I was upset, so I never touched the damn game again until college. So it was,
good job, dad.
yeah. We're like, he was like, "You're not ready for this. There's consequences, and you rolled low." I'm like, The little rats are nipping at my legs, and I
That's
have like
great.
4 health,
You know,
and they're biting
we're
for
level
3.
1. Yeah, early level D&D is always a, real pain, especially, like, reading through some of the modules, and, like, the things they expect people to do at level 1, and I'm
Mhm.
just like, "This is bad game design."
Truly, it's because, like, veterans know level 1's fight or flight. Like,
Yeah.
the monsters, like, "Oh, we made this monster that can kill you in 1 punch. You can kill it also in 1 punch." And I'm like, "It's a rat. Let me live a
It's
little."
right.
I think I got a couple more hit points than a rat. Like, come on.
No, we're still getting a little bit of distortion on your end.
Gotcha. It might be all my yelling. I don't know.
Could be. Absolutely, like, so people who listen to the podcast, like, even though the whole point of this podcast is to explore other games, I'm a game master for hire. I run a lot of D&D because I mean that's what I can get players for quickly, right?
Mhm.
and I start at level 1 even though no one ever wants to start at level 1.
Nope.
And I just do this thing where I'm just like, "I'm not gonna kill your character. I might scar them, like, irreparably, um, but it's okay. That'll be motivation going forward." But, like, so my Monday night game, it's for, like, my friends, and I was
Mhm.
just like, "Oh,
Like in
hey,"
person or online?
online,
Okay.
but I told them, I was like, "Hey, let's just do Dragon Heist." And in Dragon Heist, like, in the beginning of it, there's just this spot where you, run into, spoilers, a mind flayer,
Yeah.
at level 1, and, then the mind flayer's like, tells one of your friends to beat up the rest of you and then walks away. Uh, and it's like, that's just so brutal for level 1 because, like, that player character, like, that character in that round could probably take out, like, 1 or 2 people.
Yeah. It's like, if they hit, they're gonna hurt, level 1. It's just such a
Yeah,
brutal thing to happen.
yeah, oh, yeah. Okay, so, D&D was the introduction for you.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
what games have you been gravitating towards lately?
Okay. Uh, I wanna say that, like, this year's goal was to stop just playing D&D, and I've, like, handily done that.
Hell yeah.
Right now, what I'm grabbing, like, I wanna say, like, today, September 16th, all I wanna do is either play Vampire the Masquerade or Aliens RPG. Those are the 2 that are on my mind,
Yeah, yeah.
okay? But it changes. Once I've got it either I want more or I wanna try some other thing. Because I have been just eating just white rice, and that's it for, like, decades, and now I'm like, "There's other
Yeah,
flavors out there? There's umami?"
absolutely. And that's the thing too, is
Mhm.
like, man, when I like had a friend run Vampire the Masquerade for me, I was like, this is great. You mean like I don't have these super stressful like fighting encounters. They're usually short and like sassy and and with words. This is amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's such a fun game. I have not played the Alien RPG yet.
Neither have
Um,
I.
oh well, we'll have to fix that. We'll find someone to run it for us. Because I've heard a lot of really good things.
Mhm.
I personally have been like partial to like Mothership, for that genre,
Right.
just because it's really easy to get into and like it's simple and like you don't feel like a superhero because like you're not supposed to.
Right, yeah.
Um,
'Cause that's
because
kinda
if you
like
can, yeah,
how D&D kinda feels, like, you're
right,
supposed to be the superhero, you're supposed to be this
yeah,
great thing, but and people who jump in get the wrong idea. I like those kinda games of, like, you're just you,
yeah.
with the same shitty stats,
Yeah,
okay?
exactly. You're just a dude. And you know what? If you take a shot to the chest, it's probably gonna kill you.
Mhm.
Uh,
All your special organs are in there that you need to live. You
yeah,
can't just
whoa.
lose 1 HP, no, this is 1 organ, 1 death, okay?
Exactly. No do-overs. Well, I mean, you could make a new character. In fact, you should probably have a couple rolled up just in case. Uh, absolutely.
Have you played
Um,
Mothership?
yeah, yeah. We actually played with Cameron,
That's
from the
right.
Panic Table.
I was listening to that episode. Um, what's it called? And then I know that Jack Panic was also played Mothership,
Yes.
and they're doing something the Void stream together.
Yep, yep.
This yeah, some cool things. There's so many
Oh
games
yeah.
out there, and it's hard to
Yes.
just pick one, and it's so nice to, like, get introduced and learn and things like I played the Triangle Agencies off stream with, D5, and then this on the 30th, I'm playing some sort of, like, dystopian, like, you're in an office building, now you got a battle royale, kill everybody. Like
That's amazing.
like, this it's just
Yeah.
crazy, it's just crazy.
That reminds me of, like, Deathmatch Island, which I'm really
Mhm.
excited for, which, I bought, while
Nice.
I was at not Gen Con, because I spent way too much money when we were at Gen Con. And then I got to Deathmatch Island, and I was like, "I don't have any money left." No, it was,
Please, another
Grand
time.
Con.
Would
I bought it while I was at Grand Con in, Grand Rapids, which is
nice.
tiny, one-room convention, with a couple panel rooms, but, super good. Always support your local conventions, of course,
Yeah.
but with Deathmatch Island, it's like, you wake up, you're like a person, you could be a police officer, hopefully not, but, uh
Hey, guy.
make better choices. Uh,
You picked
eh,
in this game, you could have picked anything, and you picked
you
out
chose
cop?
a police officer. Uh, First off, red flag. You could be like a college professor or a scientist or like whatever, a social media influencer, and like you are like you wake up on an
Mhm.
island and you have no memory for how you got to that island.
Mm.
And so like all of a sudden, like it's this you have to garner it's like the Hunger Games meets TikTok.
I
Uh
love that.
Essentially. So like it's like you're trying to like impress social media while on this island fighting for your life. And whatever the challenge could be, it could just be like literally like Fortnite, right? That could
Right,
be your
yeah.
challenge. Or it could be like Survivor. And so you go from island to island. It's crazy. That one I'm really excited to try out too. So lots of games out there.
Yes.
Um
I
so
was about to start interviewing you. Okay, I need to relax.
no, you're good. I like it's listen, you do this all the time, so like it's really hard to shut that off.
Mhm,
Me, I
mhm.
talk all the time, so I'm really good at that. Uh,
I do the good talk.
yeah. Listen, you can always ask me questions. That is okay. This is a conversation. It's a
Okay,
two-way
okay.
street.
I just didn't wanna, like, start just rapid fire question. E I have, like, I wanna say 3 or 4 books that I have not used, in order to play. How many do you have in your library of, like, rule books that you have your eyes just open
All right, hold
wide?
up, hold up. I ones that I specifically haven't played.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, so I've got a library of about 20.
Okay, okay, okay.
5. Uh
Not bad,
there
not bad.
which is not bad.
Yeah.
Um
That's
to be fair,
75, that's still passing.
almost half of my books are cipher system books. So it's cheating. But
Because you're
no, like, yeah, like DCC. I haven't done DCC yet.
Mhm.
Which is Dungeon Crawl Classics for those of you who don't know. It's basically,
Hey, that's me.
you take it's a great game from what I've seen. And it's one that is on the list to play because friend of the show or just friend, Adam Muskevich, is friends with the people who make it, and he highly recommended it.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a dungeon crawl classics game. It is very much that traversing a dungeon, Dungeons and Dragons style, but not Dungeons and Dragons. Did you play
Hmm.
was it Shadow Dark while you were at Gen
No,
Con? Oh,
I did not. I mean, Kelsey Dion, such a sweetie, interviewed
yeah.
before, like, in the early days of Arcane Library. So it's on my to-do list. I saw Mason bought Shadow Dark and used it as a plate for pizza because he had to, like, he had to shake somebody's
No.
hand. He put it on and he goes, and I'm like,
Oh,
that I think the
amazing.
kindness overwhelmed his need to keep some corporate product, not a corporate, but, like, some monetary product, and I'm like, "You know what? Good on you, Mason. You just you
That's
don't need to
amazing.
be perfect. You just need to be nice furthermost."
First of all, like we really want to get Kelsey on
Mhm, mhm.
because we played at Gen Con and it was so much fun. It's just like, cool. You want to play Dungeons and Dragons, but like you want to do it really quickly and you're all probably going to die
Yeah.
cuz you have time and it's like it's so much fun. And all the rules are just so literal like, it's like, "Oh, you have a torch? Just so you know that torch can only be lit for 1 minute and you only get 2 of them. You're gonna have to find new ways to like in the dark." And it's like, oh, that's interesting. Like, it was good. So that's another one that I bought, but it
Nice.
didn't count because I played it at Gen Con. So
Gotcha. I get what you're saying.
technically, uh,
Technically.
so there's like a ton of discourse going on lately, as always. Um, in the TTRPG community. And it's getting like so like I hate to call it political, but like it really is. It's like TTRPG politics at this point.
Yeah.
Um and
And are we talking about the AI stuff or something else that I might not know?
all of it, but probably the AI stuff.
Okay, okay.
So listen, the whole point of this podcast, right, is me telling people to play other games,
Right,
right?
right, right.
But
Oh,
at the
yeah,
same
that
time,
discourse.
yeah, yeah. So at the same time, I still want like things. I want when things are talked about for things to be talked about,
Mhm.
like truthfully or like without like misinformation and stuff. People lately are getting so
Let me move you over
like,
to this side. Hold up.
oh yeah, you're
Looking
good.
I'm looking off screen and like the camera's over here. So I'm allowing
It's
this.
fine. Eventually, the video might be processed for Patreon, maybe. But
No, I feel that. I
it's
feel
it's
that.
one of those. Yeah, it's but no, like, people have just been, like, mean lately about it, like,
Yeah.
attacking each other over it, and me, which I find unacceptable when I'm
It's
so nice to
me.
them. Uh, it's so what is your view on the things? Because like, obviously, like, the view is so far, like, leave D&D behind, play other games, but, like, nuanced. Like,
On
what are you thinking?
on a capitalist perspective, in
Oh,
my
no.
head, uh, yeah, listen, it takes time and money to invest in new things. If you already have the stuff, you should keep playing your stuff. If you do not have the time or money, if you do have the time or money, it'd be wonderful to move away from a game that is being cannibalized by corporate individuals who just want to make
Yeah.
money and aren't actually being the this homegrown game. Um, but go watch the Slovenly Trolls. They'll tell you that, that guy's not so good either. Um, and it has become this like, how many freaking pennies can I pinch from you?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and because there are games that have heart to them, that you buy the book and that's that. Like, you don't have to worry about a subscription. You don't have to worry
Right.
about rules lawyers that have been here for like years and years and years. Is like, back in my day, nah, this game was made yesterday and it's great. Like all that potential baggage when you that you go into D&D with, when you go to these new games, is not there. There will be, unfortunately, some like I don't. I'm just gonna say supremacist, oh well, I've been here the whole time, like hipsters, like gatekeeping, uh, and that sucks. But don't
I
don't
liked
worry
GURPS
about them.
before it was cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you
Yeah.
heard of pen and paper? That's my jam.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry, did you say PDF? Uh,
exactly. So
yeah. No, for sure.
uh,
It's interesting,
yeah,
right? Like, um,
go
because
find new games if you can, if you have time.
yeah, absolutely find new games if you can. Like, because there are so many, and you will. I promise that you're gonna have fun. And if you don't, try a different one. Because it'll probably be fun too. It's So
There's a
I've
flavor out
got
there for
the.
everybody, essentially.
Oh, absolutely. Like
So if you mess up
easily.
once, it doesn't mean like, oh, I hate all indie or TTRPGs. It's like, this wasn't the one for me.
Yes, exactly. If you don't like Powered by the Apocalypse, maybe you'll like the Fate system, maybe you'll like whatever. Like there's plenty. Or maybe you'll like that game like Fabula Ultima where it just has its own system.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And it's super fun and easy and a good time. For like me, it's rough to go, well, I make my living off of Dungeons and Dragons, and I hate that. I love my players so much.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I want to keep playing with them. And like I'm going to, play wherever they want to play. Um, so like the idea of listen, if you pick up your Dungeons and Dragon book tomorrow, you are supporting the theft of intellectual property is kind of over the top for me.
I mean, here's like you we've so I understand like the AI generative stuff is in there. And yeah, you can go full like you're hurting other people. And just I mean, they're your friends, so it's hard to come at them with these kind of
Yeah.
ideas. Just like like show them what's going on, talk to them about it. If they do not care, hmm, I
Right.
mean, you could, I mean, it's one action versus all the good actions that they've done with you the whole time. You maybe can look passive. Maybe eventually you can, persuade them. It's not like
Yeah.
if you don't do it, you're dead to me. It's if you don't do it, maybe I can get you in the next topic because this is someone that might come around and someone I can actually talk to versus like the people online, which are just there to fill their own egos.
Yeah, absolutely. They really are, and I like to think the best of people, which I really should stop doing, because they keep like proving me wrong. But I am forever an optimist.
That's good.
Uh,
Don't let that change your aspect just because people online they don't have any real world consequences, so they don't.
yeah,
Then it's hard for them to want to change because change is hard, and
yeah,
not a lot of people want to do the change.
no, not at all.
Mhm, mhm.
But all that's to say, like you said, if you have all of the books and you've spent $3,000 on those books, you can keep playing those books and that's okay. Because like it would be kind of stupid if you didn't. It
If you keep using that material, for
yeah.
them, they've already gotten what they got, right?
Yeah.
They can't. You can't get their money back from them. So it'd be more profitable for you to keep using their product within the confines of the things you already have.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh,
I think.
definitely. Um Now as far as like the AI discussion went, I totally agree that using AI for generating like story and like, art is like akin to theft, right? The was trained off of other people's work. Sometimes it was trained off of your work because you've been inputting stuff into AI, right? And
Yep.
so like I totally,
It's got my
totally
resume
agree.
300 times in there.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with that. But also at the same time, like when I initially freaked out about this, I posted on Threads like this big long thing because
Mhm.
of course I did. I get mad and I post things. And I
At least you're
ex
active on social media is all I'm saying. You're getting your name out there.
it's a curse. It's a curse, Adrian. Uh, I don't wanna be. I just can't stop. Uh,
Demons.
but my demons want me to. Uh, but like, yeah, so, I had a few different people reach out to me, some freelancers and some people who worked for D&D Beyond, because
Oh,
the posts that I, made gained traction, and it was very much a, "Hey, if, like, generative AI becomes, like, the norm for this, like, I will have to be done, right?
yeah.
That'll be the thing." And, so, like, publicly, one person did reach out, and so, like, I can talk about that one. I'm not gonna talk about the people who, reached out in confidence because that would be rude, and,
Right, right, right.
I want people to trust that I'm not gonna just go blabbing
And
their
he
names out.
said, she
Yeah.
said. It was a
Uh,
whole thing.
but like one person, I believe their name was Riley, replied and they're like, "Hey, so I'm like a writer with the Indie Beyond and stuff, and I do want to say that like in our handbook, it does say that like we're not allowed to use generative AI for art or for text. And like that's you know policy as far as like Wizard of the Coast goes. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I'm glad to know that. But like I don't want it to change. I would like it to remain the policy.
Mhm.
And your CEO seems to really want that policy to change.
Yeah.
Uh,
His fucking tweet was like, "Well, 30 or 40 of my friends who play D&D, and they said they used AI." And I'm like, "We gotta get with the times." I'm like, 30 to 40 of your friends are uncreative as fuck and have no other
right.
friends they can talk to get the assets, like, purchase them or fu
Yeah.
or artist friends." I'm like, what the fuck?"
I'll tell you this. Listen, if you're
Mm,
listening to this and
yeah.
you're thinking, I'm going to use Mid Journey for my character art, don't. Like, it's what, $15 a month to have a Mid Journey subscription? Do you know how much it costs to have a full body like art done of a character that you get to describe to an artist? It's like $80. $80 for character art. Like that is going to be so much better and you're going to be proud of it. Right? Like you're going to be proud to show that off like, "Oh, look at this." Like I understand if you don't have the money like, and you just want concepts and stuff, like I get using whatever is, cheap and free. Especially if it's not a paid game that you're, on streaming on Twitch and you're not, no party involves making money on, but like still, you know.
Here's okay, I have a hot take about that.
Yeah,
Um, I think you should steal art if you are not financially gaining anything from it. You're just playing with
yeah,
your friends and it's not like for content reasons. It's just for yourself. I think that's fine because one, you're not profiting off the artist.
right.
Two, you are if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. There's no way to get around it. Um
Oh, for sure.
and three, the people that are using these AI things like and are paying for subscriptions, hey, they've got some money on the side. And you saying full body art, like I've seen some really good artists who don't believe in themselves, um, are just selling their art for so cheap. Like I
Yes,
tip
no, yeah, you're
so
right.
much for those artists because like you deserve so much more because you are great at what you do and I love what you're doing and you deserve more.
I ran into that when I was doing the pink security like art
Hmm.
gather in the first place for my source book, not my
Yeah.
source book, my setting book. And I actually had a couple of people who were like, I will pay or like I will charge you X amount. And I said, no, I'm paying everyone else this amount.
Hmm.
So I'm going to pay you that amount because you're undercharging me. And I'm not like your art is good and worthy enough to be charged the same amount as someone else. I don't want to, you know, charge different prices just because I happen to sneak in a deal. Because like, I've got artist friends. Like I know what they're up to and like the lengths they're willing to go and the furries they have to oh sorry. Uh no, but seriously, apparently furry art is very
Profitable.
profitable. It makes sense, a community that's willing to spend $15,000 on their suit, probably is willing to pay quite a bit for their art. So, uh, it's impressive. But, um, so we
So,
covered that. Um,
yeah,
w- are are there any other like conventions planned for
for Dungeons
you
and
guys?
Degrees, yeah. We have one. We kind of got two. We've got the one
Yeah,
we always go to in Lubbock, which is like our home
yeah, yeah.
convention because It's gonna be good. Because Alex actually was helped found it, so we get in there for
Oh,
for
that's
cheap.
really cool.
Mhm. Cheap to free. I have no idea. Uh, um, I don't ask questions. I just put the band on, and then what's it called? Then what else did I do? Um, then the next one in December is PAX U.
Yep.
So we'll be going there. We didn't hear anything back, so I think on this next page, it's got to be the next one. One of these paychecks coming up, I got to bite the bullet and buy a ticket, and then
Mm.
figure out my lodging stuff because I have some people like not like I guess not business people. I don't know how to properly say that. People that are just like family and friends
Yeah.
and not are there for content. They're just to hang out. Um, and it's not like I'm saying everyone else is just for content. I'm just saying they are uninterested and they don't know what do I do. I just want them to come to see some cool shit. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Absolutely.
but those are the two that are coming up. I would love to go back to Fan Expo Dallas because that was like our first like packed room. Not
Right.
super packed. It was more than we got in Lubbock. So it was just so nice to see people wanting to talk listen to us talk. So those are the hopefully that's upcoming 3. So it's like
Okay.
December, February, and I think it's March or April. I don't
Nice. Yeah, this year we didn't really try for the, like, media badge,
know.
thing,
Mhm.
even though, like, people told me they're like, "Oh, yeah, it's, like, not that bad to, like, do." I they ask for so many things,
Yeah, they did. I'm like, I have like so few numbers in those social platforms. Like, what do you I, how much am I supposed to have? I know you're gonna check, but like let me know a number, okay? So I can
Yeah,
work towards it.
and
I told
then they're
yeah.
like, "What are your podcast analytics?" I'm just like, "I don't wanna tell you that,
12 and my mommy.
because I don't know what's actually good, you know?" Like,
Mhm.
yeah, so next year we're gonna try it. We're gonna try media passes places,
Nice.
for sure. But this year I just paid because I was like, it was like $98, and I was like, that's so much cheaper than Gen Con. Uh,
Mhm.
but I actually convinced my wife to go with me to PAX Unplugged this
Heck
year.
yeah. Wait, next year or this
Yeah,
year?
this year.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And, but part of that, like, meant that we were going to be spending some money on a hotel,
Mm.
um, because that means that, like, I'm not staying with the bros, this time
Just
around.
have some yeah, oh, now I have to hang out with my wife that I love, damn it.
Oh, yeah, darn. Uh, and we got really lucky on a hotel room.
Nice.
Like, we are a 2-minute walk from the convention
Ooh,
center. And yes, we spent some money, but uh
but
it's a vacation. And so therefore, like, me and my wife have never been to Philadelphia before. So like,
nice. You gonna see the
uh,
Big Bell? Wait, is that Philadelphia? Am I
I
right?
think so. Uh this history classes told me that maybe
Hey,
it's
I'm from
in one of
Texas, I get a
those original
pass.
13 colonies. Uh
Nice, 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 nice.
Um, yeah, so, like, we, spent more money than I've ever spent on a hotel in my life, which was not that much compared to the other prices I was looking at around,
Mhm.
Philadelphia at that time, so, that was nice. So that's gonna be exciting. We'll have to, hang out, and, I'll
Hopefully
meet
we get
Alex
invited to
in
another
person.
party.
Yeah, that would be great, except
Dude, that
start
was
playing,
so
it's not
weird.
going.
Like, I didn't even I knew about it last second, and I'm like, "This is a thing that happens? What the fuck?"
Yeah. So this is the first year that I went. I
Mm,
was invited last year, but it took place on Thursday night instead of
uh,
Friday. And because of that, like, we ended up, like, showing up Friday morning because, like, somebody had to work last year, and so I was like, "Oh, darn, I really wanted to go." This year, I was like, "I'm going to this. We're all going to this."
nice.
And people who weren't invited are going to this. And I got that password. Uh, and I might have shared it, I don't know, with, like, at least 2 people. Nothing crazy, and they didn't get free drinks, right? And that's
Mhm, mhm.
that's where the money really was. It's not like they couldn't have walked into the bar,
Right.
if they wanted to, but, like, I was texting, Classic Sam all day, trying to, like, "When are we gonna meet up? Where are we gonna meet up?" Uh, and I was like finally I was like, "Hey, be here in like 10 minutes. Uh, you get ready to network with everyone you can. The password is whatever the password was. I think it was like critical hit or something like that.
Yeah, critical hit, yeah.
And so Sam shows up and is just having the best time. Uh, and I was like, yes, successful. But it was fun. I've never really, I don't, I don't socialize like that.
That was my first time too. I just felt like I needed to just meet everybody, and I
Yeah.
tried. I didn't do it because there's some people that were more intimidating than the others. Because like, I actually know what you do, and I'm not gonna
Mhm.
mess with you, but if I kinda seen you in the same space, I'm all about meeting you and getting to know you and talking about my deal and,
Yeah.
uh
Well, Andrew's a big, like, YouTube dude, like, he loves YouTube, and he's like he points over to a couple of people, and he's like, "That's the McElroys," and I was like, "That's really cool." Who the fuck are the McElroys? Which listen, if you're listening, I don't YouTube. I just don't. I haven't YouTubed in, like, 5 or 6 years, maybe longer than that. It's just not me.
Mhm, mhm.
That's not how I consume my content. Usually it was Reddit, and then TikTok came along and saved me from Reddit. So but and then like who like what's her name? The big cosplayer lady?
Oh, you're talking about Jenny D? Jenny
Ginny
D?
D. Yeah, I felt really awkward because I don't really follow a lot of cosplayers. I think cosplay is a wonderful art, and I think it's really cool. I don't really
But they're
care
beneath
much.
DJ. No, just kidding.
No, no, no. It's just I'm jealous that I don't have the time, patience, or money, or
Craft.
I cannot for the
It's
life
so
of me.
cool.
It's so cool. But like I was like, oh, I recognize you from some ads on TikTok. Uh,
You're big enough to get the corporate stuff. Oh, that's
yeah.
kinda
Uh,
cool.
you're releasing a deck of some kind. I'm actually interested in that. Can you
Mhm.
tell me when it's coming out? Okay, cool. Have a good rest of your con because I don't want to bother people like that. I know that like they're ready for it. I don't.
Right, you don't wanna add to that. But
Yeah.
I couldn't go up to Jenny D because I've bothered Jenny D, like, twice so far in my career of, like, emails.
Yeah.
Uh, same, like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I have so many projects. I have to say no to some, so I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Alright, cool.
Yeah.
At least you sent an email back." Uh,
Yep.
so there's that. And then, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um,
She seems nice.
but I didn't have anything of substance to say to Jenny. I didn't
Yeah.
have like, "Oh, we should do this," because I didn't have an idea. Like, you can always come onto my pod, but I feel like because I've already asked that, I'm not gonna ask that in person. Because,
Right.
like, what's the
That's awkward.
answer's probably gonna be no, which is
Yeah.
fine. And there's so many people that will be able to come onto my
Yeah,
pod. So
absolutely.
you want the people that want to be on. You don't want the people that are like, "I don't know," or maybe. You want the people that are, "Yes, I wanna be seen. I wanna tell you about my D&D stuff. I'm
Yeah.
excited about my
Somebody
game."
who is excited to exist.
Yes, yes, and
Yeah,
not tired by consistently being asked the same questions over and over. People who haven't
exactly.
been asked those questions.
Yep. That absolutely. It's just like because enthusiasm means everything for an interview and like because we've interviewed people who like that is just most of their job is like
Right.
interviewing. And I appreciate that they came on. I'm appreciative of their time and all of that stuff, big like awesome, you're a big name writer. So glad to have you on. But then like we have on now I'm blanking. have on Alice Faye Pop. Alice was just an absolute delight to have on.
Oh, I think I
It's
remember meeting. Was she there at the?
sh- I don't think she was. No, no.
Oh,
Uh Man, there were so many people.
it,
It's really embarrassing for me because there were people that like I am in discords with that like I've definitely had conversations with that I think are really cool people and I look up to, right? As like peers. But like then for them to meet me in person and for me to be like hi, I don't know what to say. I'm just kind of standing around here right now, but
listen, I think I would have been in that same predicament because if I hadn't already been to Gen Con, because my mind would have been like, oh, I'm just like, I'm trying to remember the floor. I remember what I want to do. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But like, this is my second time coming to Gen Con, this time with people that I knew, not just by myself,
yeah.
lonely. Uh, that sounds sad. It's not that sad. I was just by myself. Um, I had my co-host, and I was like, if I don't get, if my co-host doesn't see me goddamn work the goddamn pole, I don't know, the room, like a
Yeah.
go like a sex worker, because we love sex workers. They are great. I would do that too if I had that kind of vibe, okay? But I don't. I'm very selfish. I hate people.
Yes.
Anyways,
Yeah.
uh, I worked that fucking room. I socialized so good. Oh my god, best in my life.
Yeah.
Um,
No, you did
and
great. Cause you came up to me and you're like, "Hey."
yeah, I know you. One
And I was
shot
like,
stabber.
"Oh, hey, I've never actually seen your face before."
That's fine.
Uh
That happens. I am not that popular. I put out the content. I don't know how to fucking market the content.
it's the hardest part.
It is.
Because then you have to be perceived by people and that becomes a whole issue in itself. Uh
Yeah, I understand that. I think at one point I was super self-conscious about how I was editing, how I was coming about in a podcast scene. Everybody's doing the same thing. Um, and I'm like, okay, another dude with a podcast, like, what? Crazy. This economy? No.
yeah.
Um, and I was like, I don't know what's a good clip. I don't know what's a bad clip. But the thing is that kind of stopped me from doing any clips. So now, 4 years later, I've been going back and finding some of the better episodes. I was gonna do all the episodes, and I'm like, "I'm be real, some of those episodes were not good, and that's okay."
That
Some of them were
happens.
my friends, and we were just talking about friend stuff. A broader audience is not gonna understand the tunnel running in Texas Tech campus, which is, like, one part of that I could attach to elsewhere, but the rest is just like, "What's up? How you doing? Let's talk." Um So I understand that
Yeah.
not every episode could be a banger. But lately, because of all these people that are into this space that aren't just
Mhm.
like my homies, I actually don't know anything about them. I'm like, okay, now I know what I would want to know and what's a funny story and what's a not funny act.
Yeah.
Now I've been like tagging them. I haven't done anything yet, but I'm working on it. I'm working.
You're really building up the clips. Listen, we can't all be star characters without stories. Speaking of which, not
Amazing.
only was I on Dungeons uh and Degrees, I was also on Characters Without Stories. So you should check out both of those episodes if you're
Yes.
listening right now. Because both of them are far better than this podcast that you're listening to right
That's
now.
not true.
Uh
I'm on this episode right now. What are you talking about?
That's true.
Let's
This
just
episode, real good. But no, so yeah, and then, like, not everybody could be Star. Star is one of the hardest working people doing podcasts that I know. She kicks ass.
Star's a professional.
Like 5 or 6 clips per episode at least, and
Mhm.
like, all beautifully, laid out, and like there's a clear start and stop point on them, and I'm like, how do you have the patience to go through and hear your own voice that many times? Because I don't.
I'm good after the
um
first one because I gotta edit. I have to.
I just, I don't know what it is. I just I hear my voice and I go, ew, why do I want to listen to that?
Mm.
Except for when you edited my voice, that sounded really good. Don't know how that happened.
mean, it's your voice. Don't you miss? I ain't
I
doing
don't
anything.
I don't know if it is.
Okay, I just level things out. Okay, I just yeah, and that's it.
Oh, uh, I have a robot do it, and it does it very poorly. Um, listen, Underlord, that's what they call the bot that does it in
Hmm.
Descript. Um, it's okay. It does a job.
It does a
Eventually,
job.
it does a job.
Sounds like
Uh,
my nephew just started trying to do something I explained poorly. Yeah, you did the thing I said or whatever.
yeah, you
Eh,
know what? I'm proud of you for trying. Uh,
I'm just blaming it on me. That's I told you to do something that I thought maybe. That's on me.
thought I thought just because you said you could do it, you could, and well, here we are.
Mhm,
I don't understand audio engineering. I didn't go to school for that. I did go to school for video and
mhm.
like that type of stuff. Okay, that's actually not true. I was on the radio in college,
Uh-huh.
and I did take an audio editing class. I just don't remember any of it because that was over 10 years ago. Who remembers things from 14
How
years
old am
ago?
I again? Jesus, I'm 30.
Exactly. Ooh, all of a sudden, my marketing degree is still worthless because everything has changed so much.
I'm sorry,
Uh,
that's not funny, but funny. You know what I'm saying?
no, it is funny. It's funny. I did this to myself.
It is a tens of thousands of dollars joke, and I have to laugh now.
Every time I open up that Nelnet account, single tear rolls down my cheek as I see, oh, $68,000. That's almost as much as I spent on my house. Uh, X close that out. Doesn't exist anymore.
Wow, the
Object permanence.
ADHD, it's working for me now. Whoa. Relief immediately. Serotonin spreads into the brain stem.
Exactly.
Where
It's a little on my background. What's your professional background? Like, what's life like for Adrian Lawrence?
okay, like school-wise, I got a bachelor's in psychology. I did
Ooh.
2 years in social work, and then I got burnt out. It's a lot of emotional labor, and I didn't have a good social structure. There was too many
Mm,
there's so much drama within the small community that I went to, and I felt like such an outsider, which is good because that means you don't know any of the things. But like, my boss would have like, oh yeah, in high school I hooked up with that guy, and I'm like, but it's because it's such a small town, and it just everybody knows everybody. So like me being an outsider, it was good. Anyways,
yeah.
what I'm saying is it was tough. Um, I moved back home, and now I'm a tech. I just run around and I make sure things work in bingo halls, and that's usually when my Tinder dates unfriend me.
Really pick up.
Nah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah, yeah,
That's when all of a sudden you start hearing the dings. Look over, see Greenwich over there. Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
eyes across the room.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think that that's my main background, but I think what I've learned and kind of bring to like TTRPGs and where I'm at now is like a lot of confidence. Like being able to cold call people at social working.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
hated that stuff
Yep.
at the beginning because I'm like, I'm supposed to interrupt this person's day and tell them they have a medical meeting. This feels weird, which is not. You need to do that. You need to get a hold of them. You need to be okay with calling them multiple times and stop
Yeah.
having that weird, like, I don't want to call people in the back of my mind. So now I call everyone. I call everybody all the time. I hate texting. I love calling now.
Really? Oh, I can't do
Yes.
it.
Listen, it took so long, okay? It took 2 years.
I Ooh, that moment that phone rings, here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I think I have specific trauma related to telephones ringing because
Interesting.
of my various jobs.
Mm.
So, like,
Ooh. Yeah.
yeah, I worked as a security guard um
Mm.
in college, and it was like 3 days a week, 12-hour shifts, right? And I worked overnight. So, like, I would get there at 11. No, that doesn't sound right. I'd get there at 6 PM. and I'd leave at 6 a.m. And then I'd go home, I'd go to sleep, and come to find out I have like this disability that needs me to be sleeping, or else I go crazy.
Uh,
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 but all of a sudden, and it's that stupid Verizon ringtone. If you heard it, you would know it. But every time I hear it, my stomach flips because it would only ring if something happened, if I forgot to call in and let them know that, like, I checked a building,
mhm,
right? Or something, because, like, every hour on the hour, I had to call in and be like, yep, checking in, that's it," just to make sure I wasn't asleep, right? Uh, and
yeah.
then I did something akin to social work for a little while.
Oh, see,
Uh
I had a crisis, so, like, if you had to deal with crisis, then I think I kinda understand.
I dealt with adults with developmental disabilities.
Mm,
I took
TMD.
them to jobs and to volunteer, and had to sometimes I was getting paid less than they were,
Mhm, mhm.
for the job I was coaching them to do. Um, and that was really rough, but I loved the patients that I was working with.
Yeah.
But it really starts to take a toll when you have to like start like bullying the bullies who are bullying your patients because they think they can. Um,
Mhm.
and then also having to deal with like somebody who might have an explosive episode over
Right,
it.
yeah.
And like me being like not very big, I'm just like a little 5'8", slightly over saturated, I guess. Kind of weight. Uh and But, like, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Man, I'm getting paid, like, $13 an hour, and, like, this patient could take my head off
Mhm.
on a bad day." And so, like, that was always the worst. So, oof. I don't know your specific trauma in the field,
Oh,
but
well, it's like so when they rang, I had 1 week on where I had to be on call for any crisis, which is like, there are dangers to themselves or others. You have to go to the jail because the person that got stopped by border patrol says they're gonna off themselves.
oh, no,
So, like,
yeah.
we have to go in and sometimes
Way
it's just like,
worse.
"Yeah." Well, yeah, I mean, I got over that. I think, like but, like, now I have another on-call job, and it's like they're like, "Can you handle it?" I'm like, "Yes, this is just bingo."
I could do whatever you want, whenever you want. Absolutely.
So, yeah,
I mean, I find that my jobs taught me a lot about myself
interesting.
over the years, and that really helped me. I don't know if it necessarily helps me in what I do now. But also kind of at the same time it does, because like that forced organization that like I'm not good at,
Mhm.
like I get called back to it, it's like, "Oh, you know what? I should probably check in with, so and so because who knows what's gonna happen, for for their interview," and, it's good. I'm doing good. I hope you're doing.
And I'm working on it, and I'll be straight up. Didn't have the great last 2 weeks, but, we keep moving forward. There's a lot of, like, mental illness, in my head, which is fine. It's not fine. I'm just saying I have to be fine with it, you know?
Yeah,
And learn to live with it. So, like,
yeah,
whatever happens, happens. And I'm here. And I'm like, my co host, we talk like, I mean, since we interview, we like talk every week. Um, and I checked in because we didn't check it. We didn't do an episode this week. So I was like, hey, I want you to know this is what's going on because I didn't get to update you. And I want to know what's going on with you because I have no idea what's going on because you have a lot of things going on. And
yeah.
like, it was like this worm inside my head that says something's off with Alex and something was off. And now it's your fault somehow. And I'm like, what did
Oof, yeah, I know, I feel that. That's some childhood trauma, that we could unpack in a whole other episode. Where listen, my mom was mentally ill. No. Uh,
My parents were nice and supporting. I just have mental illness from something else, apparently. They're
oh,
just like, "Hey, you had a
lucky
nice."
you.
Yeah,
Uh,
right? "You had a nice life? Guess what? Bad brain. Boop, boop,
not you.
boop."
Well, sometimes it skips generations, and but no, yeah, it's there's like this weird personal responsibility that I get that where
Mhm,
sometimes you feel like you can be um completely responsible for the well-being of others at all times. And you're
mhm.
like, "Wait a second, this has nothing to do with me." And that's okay. It's okay that it doesn't have anything to do with you, and it doesn't mean you can't help. In fact, it means you probably can help a lot better. Uh,
Mhm, mhm. You can have a little bit more less
so,
subjectivity.
speaking of Alex, how long have you known Alex? Alex is a delight.
Uh, uh, 10 years?
10 yeah.
Alex was my, academic advisor.
Oh, really?
I fucked up, and I met this really cool person, and I'm like, "I think she's got it. She's got it all figured out. She seems pretty cool." She does not. She's as bad as me, but she's more put together, and you know what? That's good too. I'll take it. I'll take it.
That's a special kind of talent. I wanna have Alex on the show, but I'm afraid that we're going to just no, it's fine. We'll just
I mean, that's a
we'll talk
good
about
thing
Star
if it
Wars the entire
devolves.
time.
That you don't make the and you can kinda dip into things that are, if you've brought Star Wars into other TTRPGs and things like that, like, just touch it
Absolutely.
up once and then fuck everything else, and we're just talking and having a good time.
Alright, so we'll plan it out is, I'll have a conversation with Alex, and we'll just talk about, like, what TTRPG do you think would best suit, Star Wars campaign?
You could just, like, talk shit about me behind my back, that's all you could do.
Absolutely, plan on it. Uh,
"Adrian,
Adrian.
too nice. He's up to something."
I don't know, I don't trust it,
I had a
it's
coworker
just
was like, "You can't be this nice. There's something wrong with you." Not in that manner. He was more, calm and to me, it was like he knows for sure there's something wrong. You're too nice. What's going on? I'm like, "This is just me. I don't know what you want me to say." He's like, "You're hiding something." And I'm like, "Let me know what it is, because I do not know what it is."
listen, I have a fairly good read on people. Um, I that's not of any talent of my own, it's just autism. But, like
Ta-da.
ta-da. But, like, listen, not only are you nice, but you have something behind your eyes that is good and inviting.
What the fuck?
I don't know how to explain that to
That
people,
makes
but
sense, but yeah.
the because okay, I've met a few people and, the bells start going off
Mm,
fairly
mm, mm.
quickly, where, like, they smile and, like, they talk to you behind their teeth while they're smiling,
Oh.
and then all of a sudden, like, you look in their eyes and there's just no light. Um, every single one of those people has screwed me or someone I know over. I'm not gonna
Interesting.
mention names, but they know who they are. Uh,
And we know the addresses.
that's right. In fact, we're going to read them on air. No. So just know that, like, when I met you, I was like, oh, this is like somebody who is genuinely like chill and like fun and easy to talk to. And that's like rare.
I appreciate that. I I don't know what it is about me that people tend to confide personal things to me about, and it just happens all the time, and I just thought, "I got something."
You've got dirt on everyone. Uh
Not that I can remember everything that people have told me.
yeah, no, I get that. Because like I've been there where someone's just like telling you the most screwed up story about like their life, and you're just like, oh, and then like you're just there to listen.
Yeah,
And
that's what you
sometimes
need.
that's yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
that's what
people
they
need.
need.
Just somebody to listen to them say the worst things in the world that,
Mhm.
and, for them to, their brain to just shred all of that information immediately, so that they can continue to be supportive
Exist.
and can
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
Uh,
I totally understand that, like, I'm good with that, and I knew even before I finished psychology that I was good with that because like, I've
yeah.
been able to, like, that sounds weird to say tank it like it's like I'm a player in a game. I took that hit real hard, everyone else
Emotional
left.
damage, I take it.
I tank it, yeah. So I was able to just, like, talk with people who were having times or people would just open up to me at parties, and this guy thought I was, like, I guess, hitting on him, so he kept, like, getting close to me. I'm like, "Okay, well, this is happening now. I don't know what to tell him. He's sitting on my lap now. This is nice, I
Yeah,
guess." But
I
I just wanted to connect with people and understand people and talk about their lives
yeah.
and everything, and I was just interested. I was genuinely interested, and fortunately, that's a rare thing so that people would start to get attached to.
And, like, so here's the thing, right? I
Mhm.
was not always good at social stuff,
I bet.
and
I wasn't either.
had to learn it, right? You
Mhm.
gotta learn it, and so you learn it through, like, other people, you learn it from watching
Trial and error.
movies, all trial and error, and so, like, you go with the things that you're getting good results on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, sometimes the things that are good results on are the first date questions.
What's your
And
first TTRPG, huh?
what's your first TTRPG? Uh,
Mhm.
well, mine. And
I'm
like
glad
all
you
of a
asked.
sudden, some people. So I have this problem, and once again, it's autism. Where I pick up the mannerisms of people very quickly. Um, very quickly when I'm talking to them in person. And so all of a sudden, like, depending on who I'm with, all of a sudden, like, I have just, social butterfly. And I've gotten so many phone numbers from people that I'm very flattered. But it's like um sorry, that is not what I was intending.
I wanna
Yeah.
end one more thing. It was a pleasure talking to you, DJ. You had this very, like, eyes wide open, like, "Oh my god, look," when we met first time. And I was all about it because I was the same way, but I had to internalize that excitement to just pitch. Also, I don't know if you noticed, it's hard for me to keep eye contact because there's this one time when I was talking as an interview and I noticed this person didn't blink, and I just like, am I staring too hard? And then I've never looked at people's eyes for so long anymore unless I know them. It's hard now. Anyways,
No,
I just want to say
I completely understand. Listen, I often in social situations get a deer in the headlights look. Uh
that. Mhm,
where I listen, most of the time when I am interacting with people, I've got like 40 customers that I look at through this screen
right.
almost every day. And then when I have to remember how to socialize with real people,
Mm.
um, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, 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 no, this is a thing. Like, I can do this." What was your name again? Oh, yeah, 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 from the charity event. Uh,
That's totally fine. There were so many people there. How are
there
you
were
supposed to
so
know?
many people. Well, here's the thing. I think, and this should be a standard of practice, is everyone needs to print out their profile picture on Discord or TikTok, and they need to put it a sticker on their badge. Because if I would have seen your little avatar that you have,
Mhm.
immediately, I would have just been absolutely know everything about you at that point. Um,
You can finally, like, connect the piece
yeah,
properly.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's what I'm gonna do at PAX U. Whatever my PFP is, I'm just gonna put that on my badge.
Do it. And if you're listening, you should come visit us at PAX U. If you see us,
Yeah,
Um, say hello. I always love that. If you're gonna be at oh no, what's it called? Yukon? Yes. If you're
the
gonna be
the
at Yukon in
the potato?
Ypsilanti,
No.
Michigan, also come see me, because that's gonna be fun. But no, if you see us at PAX walking the floor, walking the street, uh oh, I've got a story to tell you as soon as we stop hitting record. Um, walking the street, then yeah, come see us. But I'm gonna turn it over to Adrian. Adrian, do you got anything you would like to plug? Tell us about the podcast. Tell us when you release the episodes, all that fun stuff. Your preferred,
Yes.
payment method for tips. Uh,
Patreon.
absolutely. Uh,
Hi, yes, I'm Adrian Lawrence, AC Lawrence Online. You can find me over on Dungeons and Degrees. Usually our handle is Dungeon, the letter N, degrees. Yes, because we have multiple degrees. That's what she says at the end. I don't usually do this part. This is Alex's part, and I do the sign off anyways. Um, and you can find me on it at PAX U for sure. If you're in the Texas area, I'll be in Lubbock and Dallas Expo next year, probably, if we're still doing this dang thing. I want to. I love this shit. I'm gonna be so ready after PAX U. I mean, so many cards collected. Anyways, what else is there? Friday I have a game on Twitch, which is just my game that I play for free with some randoms on the internet. They're not randoms, they're friends, but like I don't know them in real life, is what I'm saying. Um, yeah, go watch our podcast. We can watch it on YouTube, or you can listen to it / watch it on Spotify
And you
and
can also
wherever
find it
pods.
in the links down below because
Whoa!
that's going to be there as well.
Woo,
I know.
mm,
Whoa. I don't think they're there yet, but
wow!
okay. Uh,
Wow!
they
You just
will
changed
be.
it. Oh,
And of course, you can find us everywhere using our link oneshots.tavern.com. There's no www. If you put the www, it won't take you anywhere. Why? I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. But oneshotstavern.com, you can find all our social links, you can find our Patreon, and you can find cool merch like our Coastal Mage Slayer shirt. If you understand Coastal Mage Slayer, anyway, or our Magic Missile Tea, which is another one of my favorites. But until next time, I'm DJ, your host. Have a wonderful week and play some games.